Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today I am bringing you a Delilah S. Dawson reading vlog. So I was kindly gifted her recent release, and I'll insert a clip of me unboxing. And I still have her first book on my shelves, which I haven't picked up. And I picked that one up in February of last year. So it's been on my shelves for a long time. And I was kindly sent her newest release, which is coming out in September by the lovely team over at Titan. So thank you so much for sending that my way. So essentially, I have to read Bloom and Guillotine. So these are the first books that I've heard about from this author. So they are new to me and I'm really excited to delve into them. So Guillotine, this is a book that is coming out on the 10th of September. So hopefully by the time you see this vlog, it will be in time for this release. But essentially Guillotine is like a revenge story. The menu meets Ready or Not in a dark tale of opulent luxury and shocking violence from the New York Times bestseller author of Bloom, which is the other book I am going to be reading in this vlog. This is obviously Eat the Rich revenge story, and this is more cottagecore, falling in love, dark, obsessive relationships. So they are kind of completely different, and I'm really intrigued to see how she writes both of these. And they are really short. They're both just over 200 pages. Really excited to delve into these. Do let me know in the comments if you've read any of them. Let me know your thoughts and I will get into reading these and come back to you with any thoughts and opinions and whether or not you need to pick these up as well. I am going to start with Bloom because this is her older book and it's been the one that's on my shelves for the longest time. So I'm going to read Bloom first and then I will read Guillotine and then obviously round out this video with all of my thoughts and opinions on both of the books. So let's go. So I've now just finished Bloom by Delilah S. Dawson, and this book, I have a lot to say. To start with, I guess I will tell you a little bit about the atmosphere in here and what exactly it is about. So Bloom is, like I mentioned before, cottagecore type of story. It centers around Ro, who goes to a farmer's market and she falls in love with a seller there who's called Ash. And I guess Ro is so obsessed with this woman. She keeps going back to the farmer's market, buying this woman's products and trying to build a relationship with her. And Ash is made out to be this beautiful woman that is so resourceful. She makes all of her products by hand. She has incredible cupcakes that Ro absolutely adores and buys every single time. And then we kind of follow their relationship as it builds. And it is a bit of a romance story. So it does follow them as their journey towards becoming closer, I guess. So it's a female-female romance. And the underlying themes of this book kind of centered around toxic relationships and how you can have toxic relationships even in a same-sex relationship, which I think is really interesting and good to highlight within a story, because you can get toxic relationships no matter what type of relationship that you're in. There is a plot point, I think the main twist, that is so obvious that within 27 pages you could kind of see the direction that this book was going to go in. I think Delilah S. Dawson does give it away slightly, like she's saying, this is important, remember this fact, look out for this. I guess there's a lot behind her writing, so she really does kind of point it out to you, and it's something that I think a lot of people often miss when they're reading the book. I could kind of see where this was going as soon as we start to learn about Ash and her demeanor, I guess, and how she's very secretive and how she's kind of controlling in a way. So there are points of this story where it is kind of predictable and you can kind of see what's coming. But sometimes that's fine for me. I don't mind that. It's kind of a testament to reading and understanding books that you can see what's coming up. I just think that's part and parcel of reading a ton of books and understanding the tropes and understanding the language that's used. In terms of the writing style, it's very poetic. The way it's written, the words that are used, it's very prose based. There's a lot of big words that are used. I felt myself kind of stopping and searching a word because I had no idea what it was. So it's kind of, it does pull you out slightly whenever there's such romantic and flowery language that's used. That's something that I don't think is necessary. I think there's a way to be poetic without using words that people don't use every day, or at least don't understand. I just feel like that's not really good writing style. But again, some people are different. Some people really love that. It's just not for me. And I guess this section of writing kind of was at the beginning and in the middle. We kind of lose some of the flowery language from the middle of the book to the end, which is what I appreciated. I don't really want to stop reading a book to pick up my phone to Google what the word means in order to actually understand its use in the story. But overall, I have enjoyed reading this book and getting into this world and the mindset of Ro and Ash. It does have like that cottagecore feel. We have farmers markets, homemade goods, farm life, secluded living, all of that good stuff in there. So it would fit for the perfect kind of cozy, spooky read. But I will say, for one, that this book is not fast paced. It is very much a slow burn. It's one that kind of takes its time to really delve into the nitty gritty of the actual storyline. And I feel like some people wouldn't get along with that. A lot of this is understanding the two characters and how they interact with each other for a lot of the story, and how Ro is so infatuated with Ash. So it follows that aspect and how toxic this relationship is. So you kind of follow that build up until the plot twist. So I think I'll leave it at that for now. I really didn't like Ro in this book. She was so annoying. Like, there were so many red flags, and she just didn't listen to those red flags that stemmed in her head. I mean, there was a part that I've read and she just said, "Oh, but Ash is a girl. It's fine." I feel like the way she was dismissing all of her instincts and alarm bells just because Ash was a woman was kind of annoying, but I guess that was the point. And it does highlight that toxic relationships happen across all types of relationships, like I said. But I just feel like that was really annoying, and I just didn't enjoy that she just wasn't listening to her own instincts. So she is a bit stupid for sticking around. But I don't really know what else to say. So I think I'm going to end out my review thoughts on Bloom. I have given it a 3 star. I thought it was a really good read. It had a lot of interesting plot points and definitely good theming, but the writing took me out of it slightly. A 3-star is definitely a good read for me. So it's not to say this book wasn't great. I did enjoy it. And that's just my rating for Bloom. So this is a decent read, and I would suggest picking it up if you enjoy the romantic, dark relationship, like twisty stories that kind of are more of a slow burn. Then this one is definitely worthwhile. And I guess while I'm here, I have started to read Guillotine, which is the second book for this vlog. This is Delilah S. Dawson's newest release that is being published on the 10th of September. I think I've already given a rundown on that earlier. It's quite an interesting take. This one is slightly different to Bloom. In the beginning, we kind of meet Des, who is a struggling fashion graduate. She wants to work in fashion and is trying to do everything possible to make her dreams come true. And she stumbles upon a guy called Patrick, and they go out on dates. She doesn't like the guy, but she's doing it because his mum owns a magazine that she wants to work at. So she gets invited to this island where the whole family is going to be. We got to a point where she has to sign an NDA, and the NDA is slightly weird. And she's now kind of starting to get a little bit worried with what she's signing, because if something happens to her on this island, then she's not allowed to call the police. She's not allowed to report it when she gets back to the mainland or anything like that. She has just arrived and signing this NDA, and things are starting to be a little bit weird. And this island isn't documented on maps or has a name or anything like that. So it is getting a little bit spooky. So I'm intrigued. It is definitely giving the Menu vibes right now, where they go off onto this island. So I'm kind of getting that vibe. So I can kind of see why the synopsis has said the Menu meets Ready or Not. So I'm intrigued to see how the Ready or Not comparison comes in, and what exactly this family is going to be like, and what Des has gotten herself into. But it does seem interesting so far, even though we have just met the both of them and some of the family members. So I'm intrigued to see where this goes. I'm going to continue reading it now, and I will probably So I'm now jumping in here to round out this video and let you know my thoughts on Guillotine. So Guillotine is an incredible book. It is so gory and twisted. It is the perfect revenge story. It follows the premise of screw the rich and kind of getting your own back. And it follows a lot of really dark themes. So there's discussions around forced pregnancies, abortions, grips, and a lot of other sensitive topics. Do check trigger warnings and stuff before you go into this book, because it is really dark. A lot of it is implied, but with the writing style and discussions, you can kind of tell that there's certain topics that they're discussing or trying to discuss without actually saying the words. So I guess I will move on to the writing. I remember I said about Bloom that in the beginning I really disliked the writing style. I feel like the writing in Guillotine was much more fleshed out. It wasn't so flowery, and I really enjoyed that. So the writing has improved. I prefer the writing style in Guillotine than I did in Bloom. And I feel like our main character is a lot more likable than in Bloom. So we follow Des, or Desiree, who's a struggling fashion graduate who wants to get into the world of fashion. She ends up dating this guy called Patrick, whose mum owns a magazine, and she's kind of forcing this relationship along for her own gains in the fashion world. Essentially, she's pretending to enjoy Patrick's company and faking this relationship just so she can meet the family, get involved, and possibly catapult her career. She's then invited to this island, the family's private island, where they go for holidays and family getaways. She is invited along, and within the first 5 chapters, we kind of learn the background to her reasonings, why, and also a little bit about the island and the family, and all of their secrets are kind of unfolded throughout the story. So I thought it was really well developed. The island is so secluded. There's no phones or anything allowed on the island. So this makes it the perfect setting for a revenge-based story. So I can see why it says on the back that it's the menu meets Ready or Not. It does definitely have both of their vibes. And the slashing in this was so gory and brutal. It was so intense, and I really loved that. It was so dark and twisted. So you do kind of feel uncomfortable throughout when everything's being revealed and the killings are happening. You're kind of there along for the journey, and it is so brutal and intense. And Delilah S. Dawson really does write these killing scenes very well. It's presented in this like really pretty pink, so it is a bit of a juxtaposition how the stuff behind the cover is actually very gory and pretty ridiculous. So I really enjoyed the Guillotine. It's not a 5-star read for me. I am giving it a 4, but that is an incredible read in my view. I highly recommend checking Guillotine out if you really enjoy like your slasher based stories, and if you enjoyed The Menu and Ready or Not. Those vibes are definitely present within this story. I've really enjoyed checking out both of these books, Bloom and Guillotine. And as a reminder, Guillotine is out on the 10th of September, so within a couple of days of the release of this video. So do get your hands on a copy, because this is a book you probably won't want to miss. And that is the end of this video. I hope you have enjoyed coming along on this vlog and hearing about Bloom and Guillotine. Both books were great. I did prefer Guillotine than Bloom, but that's only because I really enjoy slasher stories. But Guillotine had a lot more in it for me, so I really did enjoy Guillotine a lot more than Bloom, but both of the books were incredible. So if you haven't read either of these stories yet, I would highly recommend picking them up. They are incredible reads, really short and perfect for the autumn or spooky season. So yeah, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are, and what kind of book or author you want to see next. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I usually don't say this, but it would really help my channel out if you were to give this video a like if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to come back for more content. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, keep your pages turning and embrace the darkness. Bye!